Now please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Now please join us for a moment of silence.
Welcome to SCTV's Today at the Creek for Tuesday, January 10th.
Hello and welcome to SCTV's Today at the Creek weather. I'm Dawson Binder and you are not. For today, January 10th, it should be partly cloudy with a 16% chance of morning rain and a 9% chance of afternoon rain. The high should be 55 degrees and low should be 36 degrees. For tomorrow, Wednesday, January 11th, it should be partly cloudy with an 8% chance of morning rain and a 24% chance of afternoon rain. The high should be 61 degrees and the low should be 41 degrees. This has been Dawson Binder reporting SCTV's Today Creek weather.
Welcome to today's Tidbits. I'm Kyla Wachala.
And I'm Daniel Yang.
For staff birthdays, tomorrow is Miss Hamby's birthday and Miss Miller's birthday. And for national days, today is National Houseplant Appreciation Day, National Bittersweet Chocolate Day, and Peculiar People Day.
And for random facts, did you know a group of hedgehogs is called a prickle, and the number 4 is the only number with the same number of letters as the meaning of its name. And that's all for today's Tidbits. Thank you for watching.
Welcome to Beyond the Creek. I'm your host, Jonas Harmon, and here's your news from around the world. After 15 rounds of voting, the House of Representatives chose a new Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, a Republican from California. Apple broke their 21-year tradition by not releasing a Mac model in the fourth quarter. The last time they released a Mac was the M2 line in July of 2022. And finally, the Consumer Electronics Show in Las Vegas wrapped up this weekend with some notable tech being L'Oreal's self-applying makeup tool and PlayStation's new controller made specifically for people with low motor functions. This has been your host, Jonas Harmon from Beyond the Creek.
Fire can break out with little or no warning. The more prepared you are, the safer you will be. Today we'll be talking about having a pre-planned meeting location. Anytime a fire breaks out, chaos will inevitably ensue. So having a place where you and your family can meet up is also a good idea. You can also use this for school. Personally, we have them in your classroom. Your teacher will tell you where that is if there's a fire, and you should already know your pre-planned fire drills.
Hi, I'm Abby Sanders.
And I'm Declan Stewart. And before we get into today's announcements, it would be our pleasure to show you an exclusive interview with Mr. Hatter, the 2022-2023 Teacher of the Year.
Okay, Mr. Hatter, you've been named Teacher of the Year. So, can you tell us about your most memorable encounter with Dr. Harold?
Dr. Harold? Sure. One of the times when leaving the school, Dr. Harold was walking in, and I smiled at him. He smiled back, and he went, "Hey, how are you?" And I went, "Thank you." And that was my first year teaching, and so that was like 3 weeks into school. All we had was a faculty meeting, brief introduction, and that was my first other non-faculty meeting related interaction.
Oh, that's good. Okay, so
I'm a man in demand.
in all your 8 years of teaching, what's one of your favorite memories?
8 years of teaching?
Going on 8.
Going on, favorite memory.
Yes.
Let's let John come in.
What up, John?
So over the course of my 8 years teaching, one of my favorite memories has been coaching and the lock-in teams. So one was where they just called themselves, the Hattards, and we ended up winning. And then I coached a team called Team Canada 2. There was a long succession of Team Canadas that took place up to Team Canada 4. We won as well. And so just getting to see kids in a non-academic atmosphere is always nice. And while I don't do a club or something like that, coaching those things and participating in senior week is always fun. And follow that up with graduation and cry a little, take pictures, and that's it.
So how have your students personally impacted you?
My students personally impact. Well, I get to live vicariously through my students. Many of my students, especially those who I may have an AP or something, I have always said are more talented and smarter than I'll ever be. And so getting to see the way that they prepare for colleges, students who are successful in sports, getting to talk about their experiences. I just like to get to know them, who they are, how they view themselves, and just live vicariously through their achievements, their successes, and through each of those I learn about experiences that I haven't had, and each time I get to just kind of roll that into who I am, I guess.
Oh, I like that. So you have a very distinct teaching philosophy. Is there anyone in your life who influenced that?
So yes, my teaching strategy is not new. I did not invent it. It is something called modeling instruction. There's lots of different physics education researchers who have spent far more time than I developing these things. One person I can talk to specifically is Dr. Brian Frank. He is a former physics faculty member at MTSU. He currently teaches at an all-girls school in Maryland. And he's also had daycare and things like that, so he's done, he's helped me, with early developmental stuff, and so he's one particular person who has helped tremendously.
So if you weren't teaching, what would you be doing right now?
So that's a good question. When I graduated, I did not go to a traditional senior year of high school. I went to a trade school for half the day and then high school for the other half. And I actually graduated as a commercial draftsman, certified commercial draftsman. So I'd probably be working for an architect, making plans and things like that for different, commercial buildings.
That's cool. Okay, so what's your plans for down the road?
Well, I'm currently enrolled at MTSU pursuing a PhD in math and science education. So if I did leave K-12 in Stewart's Creek, I'd probably move into a faculty role position at a 4-year school, probably mentoring pre-service teachers, student teachers, and things like that as they transition into the field.
Okay, so I know the students' favorite project, but what would you say your favorite project is that you do with your students every year?
So I would say the Egg Drop Lab, but I'm starting to hate it. But I still do it because my students love it. So I'm a little torn in between those two. So the Egg Drop Lab is, I think, what I'm most known for. And then in AP, I used to, we'll do projects at the end of the year where students have to develop their own tools, their own material list, and try and come up with different activities that they have to do to prove something. I haven't done that since before COVID. So I'm excited that this may be the year that we roll that back in at the end of the year to watch what students come up with. We've had students drop water balloons, drop watermelons, do several different things, and every time it's been interesting.
Oh, okay. So you used to live in Brooklyn, New York. What brought you to Tennessee?
So my father worked for the Long Island Railroad back in Brooklyn.
Oh, wow.
And when he retired, we had to figure out some place to live. So we went to Austin, Texas. We went to Las Vegas, Nevada, and we went to Nashville, Tennessee. And we figured out that Nashville was the place we wanted to be. So us and the rest of the New Yorkers, we moved down here. And ever since then, I've done my best to hide my accent.
Can't hide who you are.
Well, I'll tell you what, if you're in a group of people and you start talking like I was just talking, they stop the conversation and they go, "Not from around here, are you?" So it's an easy way to avoid those things.
Okay, so last question. Can you say something in your New York accent?
Well, I just did, but water, coffee, and tournament, coupon, and what's another good one? I'm walking here.
Okay. So thank you, Mr. Haddard, for joining us today.
No problem.
This has been Abby Sanders interviewing Robert Haddard for Stewart's Creek High School's Teacher of the Year. FCA will be meeting every Tuesday morning at 7:45 in Portable 30. You do not have to be an athlete to join it and can sign up for the remind at the meetings.
Chimney Club meets every Friday morning at 7:45 a.m., weather permitting. They'll be meeting in the courtyard if it rains. They will meet in room 503. We'd love to see you there.
Monday the 16th, there will be no school due to Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Thursday, January 26th at 3:40 in the library, the GSA will have a guest speaker from Big Brothers/Big Sisters to discuss the Joy Collaborative.
The Joy Collaborative is a virtual gender sexuality alliance and is focused on providing high school LGBTQ+ youth and allies. The program is hosted on Discord and allows members to communicate with peers and allies in a supervised safe space throughout the week, culminating weekly LGBTQ+ focused video meetings.
Stop by room 115 for more information.
Track trials will be Saturday, January 21st at 10 a.m. on the track. Dragonfly account must be 100% complete.
You must let Coach Davenport or Coach Turner know by Thursday, January 19th if you're planning to try out so Dragonfly can be verified before you try out.
The boys soccer program will be having their spring tryout February 13th. Returning player tryout will be at 6:30 to 8 a.m. and new player tryout will be 3:45 to 5 p.m. Both tryouts will be at the stadium field. If weather does not cooperate, tryouts will be forced to move to the main gym. Please be sure to follow the soccer team on Twitter and Instagram to stay up to date on any changes.
That's all for this episode of Today at the Creek.
Tune in on Thursday for the next episode.
And remember,
We are one team.